When you're painting today, artists, you're going to do a color wheel. This is something that I got from the internet, and you're going to make sure your name's on it. You're going to have your messy mat from your tub. You're going to have a paper plate. You might need a bowl for each of you, and then you're going to put your own paint on the paper plate responsibly. Always paint the lighter color
Artists,
first.
when you're putting your paint out,
It should be the size of a quarter, a little bit, maybe a $50 would be the size of it. Artists, when you get your paints out today, make sure when you're closing the caps that it's clean. Everything is new that I have out for you today. Your paper plate, set it up like where it's a $50 size of paint, and it looks like the color wheel, so you have yellow, red, and blue. And please be responsible, because if you can't be responsible with the paints, then you will not get to paint today. Thank you. Artists, you're using the nicer brushes. I think a flat brush is easier to mix your paints with. Like I said, always start with the yellow. And on this color wheel, if you have time, you're going to do the main colors on the outside. You're going to start with red, yellow, blue. Paint yellow first because it's lighter. And this inside, you're going to add white to your paints at the end if you have time. And at the bottom, it says tints, tones, and shades. And you're going to do tints because that's adding white, artist. So when you set your plate up, remember where your paint is, because you're going to add white to it later if you have time. Push up your sleeves if you need to. Just put a little bit of paint on the end. Fingers on the grippy makes it easier to paint. Clean it into number 8. Make sure it's cleaned up really good before you do the red. And you don't have to paint all the yellow. That's just how I did it here. It's up to you, artist. Okay, my primary's done. Like I said, I would just do the one block of yellow, not the whole thing. I think it might be easier. Clean your brush really good. Always start with the lighter. So now I'm going to go in and mix my secondary. And to create your secondary colors, artist, remember you take the two primaries and mix them together. And so that's going to be red and yellow will create orange. And I would mix that in the middle of my plate like this. I put just a little bit of red. So on with your brush, you're going to mix just a little bit of red. See how that the color that creates, and you're trying to mix orange. And then once you make your orange, you can add and change your colors if you want to make it look more like an orange. I think that looks pretty good. Then I paint the orange and then do all the other ones. Orange, red. So I have the orange and I mix it with a little bit of red. Okay, I'm gonna go back and do the yellow orange. So here's my orange. I'm gonna mix a little bit of yellow with my orange. Have it on a little area here to where when I add my tint later, I'll be able to go back and change it. So I've already got yellow on here. Like I said, if it was me, I already started the video, I wouldn't do that, I would just do it separately. And the next color that I will do will be yellow-green because yellow's light. So now I'm gonna turn my paper plate and I'm gonna make green. So I'm gonna get a little bit of yellow, put it in the center, got a little bit of paint on me, a little bit of blue, put it in the center, mix it up. Make sure you mix all the paint that's on your brush. See how I still just have it on the edge of my paintbrush. Clean my brush. Now I want blue-green. Take blue, mix it with my green. Now, ideally, like I said, if you have time, then you will go back in and do the tints. If you don't, that's okay, artist. Clean my brush. If you find that your water is getting really dirty, you can empty it out very carefully. Don't make a mess. Do it in the bottom of the sink. Now I've got my paper plate here. I have my blue mixed with my red, creating my violet, which is my purple. Make sure it's mixed together really good, artist. If you notice, I kind of paint the outside edges first and then move my hand around. It's not perfect, that's okay. You're just experimenting with mixing colors. Now, I don't have to clean my brush because I'm now going to mix the blue with this side of the purple, because that's the blue purple, or blue violet, same thing. And I'm going to finish this up and show you how to do the tints. Careful with the paper plate, artist. At the end, you're going to fold it in half very carefully and throw it away. Okay, now I want to clean my brush really good. If you need to come to the sink and get more water and clean it up really good, that'd be... Okay, my paintbrush is clean. I have enough time. I'm doing this during lunch. You're going to get white and you're going to put just a little bit in the center. Be careful when you're opening these paints, remember. Be responsible with my paints. I'm only getting a little bit out. That's all you need. Put the cap back on. They'll be at the back counter. And now you take your original, and I would do the same thing what we did before. Start with a yellow. Make sure you don't have a mixture. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow here. Take a little bit of white. Take a little bit of white and mix it in very carefully. Okay, so I don't want to waste my white. I'm mixing it really good. Come in here. And then I'm probably not going to finish the whole video because I have another class coming in. Layering the paint on there, so I'm trying to rush through this. I'm not actually cleaning my brush, but now that I'm getting to the darker and different colors, I'll have to. Adding a little bit more white because it did not look very different. Now, artists, if you see, I've got just a little bit of white left. I made it all the way around my color wheel with that little bit of white. At the end, what I want you to do is put these on the drying rack. Remember, share it with the person next to you on the drying rack that it goes with the color. And there you go. There's your color wheel with the main colors on the outside and tints in the middle. Please make sure you clean your brush really well. You fold this very carefully in half and throw it away and clean up your area and put stuff on the counter. Thank you, artist.